Hey, what is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you don't know, my name is Josh, and yeah, so anyways, today I'm back with a brand new video for all you guys. And I went on Twitter earlier, and if you want to follow my Twitter will be down below in the description box below. And anyways, I ran a poll for 8 hours and I asked you guys, what would you guys like me to talk about? Either my makeup yeses and my bye of April, or my coming out story. And you guys all said my coming out story, so this is basically just me coming out. And well, I already came out. Like, I'm super fucking gay already as it is. Like, who the fuck like wants to know? Is like, who the fuck like wants to know? But oh, that was like a really bad fail. Pop tongue. There you go. Anyways, so I'll be talking about like how I came out and everything, and what I was feeling inside and everything. And I hope this inspires you. And so without further ado, if you would like to hear my coming out story, then keep on watching. I was born on July 18th, 1998. And my real name, well, my whole full name is Joshua Lewis Gonzalez, but I live going by Josh. And yeah. So anyways, I was born in California. I've been living in California my whole life. I grew up in Whittier, and I grew up in different parts of California, always in Southern to be exact. And so anyways, growing up, I played with Power Rangers. I just was a normal boy, but something about me, I always knew something was different about myself, but like I never used to ever say anything. I always loved playing with the girls, like typical, you know, like gay things, like all the little, like, oh, that's very stereotype. I shouldn't say that, but yeah, as you know, I play with girls a lot. I always wanted to be I loved Power Rangers, so I always wanted to be the Pink Ranger, or I always wanted to be a girl character, or even when I would play fighting games, I would always want to be the girl character, which I still do today. I don't know, there's something about it was always cool, but I've never felt like a girl inside. I've always felt like a boy. Like, I'm happy being a boy, but like I'm just gay. So anyways, elementary school went by. I want to say I was a relatively good kid. I listened. I begged a lot for the Power Rangers. Like, when the Power Rangers would come out, I would beg my dad for new ones. And so anyways, yeah. Growing up, my parents did not like gay. They still don't like gayness to this day. But that's a whole nother topic I'll talk about when we get to that part. So anyways, growing up, I was fine. Middle school started. 6th through 7th grade, I was fine. Like, no bullying. I was cool. Like, nothing really happened. And then 8th grade started. And during 8th grade, my mom was my cafeteria lady. Props to that. You know, I got, like, extra stuff because, like, my mom worked there. So, 8th grade, my PE of 8th grade. Yeah. So, I was about, like, 13, 14. No, like, I was 13 in 8th grade. And so, anyways, this one boy, I forgot his name, but he started making fun of me, calling me gay, and I used to be so stubborn about it. And I used to go like, no, I'm not gay, like, I'm not like that, like, stop saying that I am. And he's like, yes, you are, like, why are you, like, lying, like, you fucking faggot. And, like, I used to get that told on a daily basis, and then finally, like, I told my mom, and, like, everything stopped, like, bless her. So, yeah. And then I moved schools so I moved to a different school, and then I was, like, so secluded there, like, I didn't talk to anybody there. And, yeah. And then, going into 9th grade, I, came out to my ex-best friend, you can say. We'll say her name was P. Call her P, okay? And I came out to her first, and she was like, bitch, like, I fucking knew. Like, I came out to her over Facebook Messenger when we were about to meet up for the first time in, like, a couple of years, because she moved my 7th grade year, so it's been, like, 3 years since we saw each other. So we hung out and everything, and then I came out to her, and she's like, yeah, I just, like, always knew you're gay. Like, I don't know why you were hiding it. And I was like, did you not see who we went to school with? Like, seriously? And then, anyways, going into my 10th, like, okay, so from, like, 9th grade to, like, 10th grade, I was, like, well, from, like, my first years of high school, like, I was so into, like, writing, and I was on Wattpad a lot, and I always used to write. And one day, I was on my computer, and I was writing, I think, like, a new chapter for a fanfiction I was writing at the time. And my aunt walks in, and at the time I didn't have a phone, so I used my aunt's iPod, and I used my grandma's iPod, because, like, you know, I didn't have one my freshman and well, I had one, but, like, I didn't have one, like, I don't know, like, really hard to explain. So anyways, so like I'm like on the computer typing away, like, you know, typing, you know, and my aunt walks in and she's like, Joshua, and I'm like, yeah, like, hold on, give me a second. And like, she's like, what is this? Like, what did I find under my iPod? And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, were you watching gay porn? And I was like, no. And like, I knew I got caught, like, bitch, like, I was like, fuck. And she's like, are you gay? And I was like, no, I'm not gay. Like, no. And then she's like, then why did you watch this? And I go, I'm not watching it. And like, she came up to me and she was like, look. And like, I started crying. And like, I was forced to come out, basically, in a way. And so I came out and everything, and I started crying. And growing up, she always told me, like, oh, it's okay. Like, if you like boys, like, you know, just make sure he has a hot brother from me or something, like something stupid. Like, yeah. And so I came out and I started crying. And then at the time, my freshman and sophomore year, I didn't like the schools out where my parents lived. So I moved back down to where I grew up at. And I lived with my grandma and my aunt and my uncle. And so I went to school out here and I graduated from the high school that I went down to. And anyways, yeah, I came out and I was going to tell my parents, and because I was going to take the train back up to where they lived so I can see them, because I haven't saw them in like, I didn't see them for like 2 weeks. So I was going to go back to see them. And that night, my mom rang me and I was like, hello. And she's like, is it true? Like, are you really gay? And I was like, and then I started crying because I couldn't tell her personally. Like, I couldn't tell my mom and my dad. Like, my aunt told them, and so that's what hurt me the most. And like, I started crying. My dad was crying. Like, my dad never cries, and my dad was crying. And like, I don't know, just like they didn't know what to think, and I didn't know what to think. Like, I didn't know how they were gonna respond to everything. But luckily, like, my parents are so supportive over me. Like, they support me 100%. They support my makeup love. They support me as a person. They support like everything that I like, but they don't support like what I am. Well, they don't condole what I am. They're gonna love me no matter what, but they don't like my lifestyle, you can say. But they do love me for who I am, and I'm very blessed and very lucky to have them in my life. The same thing with my family. My family doesn't really like what I am, but they do. They especially when I put makeup on, they don't like that. But except for like my aunt and like my mom and my grandma and like other family friends that are female. But yeah, growing up, I didn't really like trouble myself coming out. Like, I really wasn't that kid that was like old, like, you know. I did like a couple people growing up, and I used to always push down those feelings, thinking like I was different and all this. I remember just going through a time going, oh my god, like, what the hell is going through my head? I was so scared of everything. I remember when I had a DSi and you're able to use the web browser. Oh my god. And I remember looking up pictures and going, oh my god, I really am, like, I really do like boys. And like, I used to hide it in everything, and like, now, like, I'm so happy. And I just want you guys to know that no matter what, like, be yourself. And like, if you're gonna come out, be comfortable. Like, come out when you're ready to come out. And make sure that you sit the people down that you want to tell. If it's easier enough than said, if you haven't came out yet, you can follow my social medias down below, and you can either tweet me or you can DM me on Instagram and tell me what you feel. You can just tell me like you're gay or you're bi or you're lesbian, or that you feel like you're trans. Like, you just tell me anything you want, everything down below, and I would just say, like, congratulations, you're beautiful the way you are. Like, I just want you guys to feel comfortable and feel ready to tell somebody, to get it off your chest if you're hiding it. I want you to know forever that you're beautiful and you're honestly amazing. And I want you to know that no matter what your sexuality is and no matter what your preference is, that you're just beautiful and that you're human, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I want you to know that I love you so much, and thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys all soon. Bye.